mean, that sounds insane. I'm producing Dolly Parton.
And I learned it's a trigger word for a psycho. The word, you start throwing destiny around.
And they said, where's your mom? And he goes, she died.
Stop talking like that.
Oh my God.
What do your kids think about your career?
Nothing.
I saw Oprah and Gail in the mirror, and I just stopped walking and went flying off the treadmill and fell right in front of them.
So he's like, yeah, your dad's gay. And our son goes, does our other dad know?
Oh my gosh, this is embarrassing and screwed up.
Oh!
With Aimee Mayo. I'm so excited about my guest today, Shane McAnally. He has written and produced over 50 hit songs. He wrote a musical called Shucked that's probably my favorite musical I've ever seen. He has won Emmys. He's got 4 Grammys. He is just such a great storyteller, and I think everybody will love this episode. I had so much fun today with Shane McAnally. We'll talk a little bit about it, but you've done so much stuff. It's hard to even, I need a poster board
You're
to
so
even.
sweet.
No, I mean, seriously, like you've kind of done a little bit of everything.
If it's any consolation, I am tired.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. That's one major thing that I just feel like you live your life right. Like, I want to learn from you.
I feel like that about you.
You do?
Like, it's just dream it and do it. I mean,
that part of it I got. I mean, I'm a dreamer, you know.
I know you are.
And I try to manifest. I'll tell you what I do know. You've produced and written over 50 number ones.
Yeah.
That right there. And then you have my favorite publishing company in Nashville. And then you did a musical. Like, you did a whole musical, like Broadway.
I know
That's insane.
I think it's just saying yes to things.
Yeah, but you worked really hard.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
You worked really hard on that.
I look back on over these things, and between the publishing company and labels and the hits, it's so strange because I feel like I spent so much of my life worried that nothing was happening.
Yeah.
Maybe even those years.
Yeah.
And so I'm really trying to look at it and share that with people. I was just talking to a young songwriter last night, and I was like, she kept saying, well, like, what, I've been in town this many years, and this person's been in town this many years. And I was like, but you're in it. Like,
yeah,
this
you're
is
doing
this
it.
is it.
Yeah.
And I said, because guess what? Someday you'll be on the other side of it like I am, and I still have those days where I'm like, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
I think anybody doing creative stuff is like that. Plus, you have a big hit, and then you're like, oh my gosh, am I going to have another one? You know what I mean? It's like, am I going to have another one? And then what's funny, Chris's first single was Amazed.
Oh, wow.
And like, I'd had other singles, and
that just ruined you.
Yeah. He just thought it was always going to be like that.
Right.
And that song just went on for it just went on and on.
Right.
Because it was like number one with country, then AC, then pop. And it just so he was completely screwed up because I had singles that didn't work. I had a song on Sarah Evans, and my family was like, when's it coming out? When's it coming out? And I'm like, it's already been out. It's
Oh, yeah,
gone.
it's done.
Yeah, it ain't. They don't understand that.
Yeah.
They just know it's going to be a single.
Yeah.
What was your first single?
Last Call by LeAnn Womack. It was actually my first cut.
Really?
Yeah, and I had been in Nashville. I came to Nashville in 94, and she recorded that song in 2008.
Oh my gosh.
And that was my first cut. Now I had record deals.
Oh yeah,
and
you had
artist
songs
things,
out, and you charted
but I
a
had
few
never
times on
had
your
a
own,
song.
right?
Yeah, I mean, if you can call it that.
But still,
on
that's
some
an
chart,
accomplishment.
there was a chart somewhere that had me on it.
But that's a big thing. Like hearing yourself on the radio.
Yeah, it was. I mean, and talking about your family and stuff. I mean, that really sort of, I think, as excited as they were all along, when it started to turn towards songwriting,
Yeah.
it was harder for my mom, because she was like, no, but you should be singing it.
Yeah, I get
And
it. Well,
yeah,
you should be,
and,
really.
well,
I mean, you have such a great voice.
It was one of those things that when it started to work in songwriting, it felt so right because I got to be all these different characters and
Oh,
got to
yeah.
be all, and all of my favorite singers. I mean, LeAnn Womack,
Who's your 3 favorite?
well, she's my all-time favorite. So the fact, and she was really a muse for me for years when I was writing songs by myself and didn't have anything going on. LeAnn Womack was the person I heard singing my
Yeah.
songs.
Yeah.
And so the serendipity of the fact that she was my first cut.
Yeah.
She also she's aware of my obsession with her.
Oh, I love that.
But she's so sweet to me, but there's also a look of maybe stay within 200 yards of me because I gush
Yeah.
over her because it's very hard to tell someone when they've way beyond the cut. I'm talking about how she affected my life.
Yeah.
And
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
And if you loved them growing up.
Yeah. Well, I was an adult when LeAnn hit. I was living in Nashville.
Oh, yeah, you would have been. Yeah.
But I just know exactly where I was when I heard her. Those moments. And when the record, There's More Where That Came From.
That was a song that was in my head. That's like my favorite LeAnn song.
I think that's the best country record. I mean, I don't know a better country record.
Yeah, I was about to ask what's your favorite because that's mine, and I was going to tell you that. Is that your favorite too?
It is.
That song is like if you're going to play somebody one country song.
Yeah. Well, and that album has so many of those. That's not the album that Last Call is on. That album has I May Hate Myself in the Morning. I mean, I don't know if it gets better than that. I mean, that's the kind of song that I came to town to write, and didn't really know it until she started putting those records out.
Oh,
and I was
yeah.
like, oh.
And she's from
you can
Texas
still
like
do
you,
this.
right?
She is. And, I ended up linking up with a lot of those Texas girls like Miranda and Kacey, of course, and Marin. And they're all from this sort of not
like
too far from each
right?
other. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, LeAnn she's my favorite singer. I grew up obsessed with George Strait. I also think I got into the music business because of Barbara Mandrell. She was the first person that I ever just remember being like, oh, wow.
She's the first country one.
Yeah.
Did you listen to other kinds of
I
music
did later. And, but young, it was all country all the time. I mean, Merle Haggard.
I know every Merle Haggard song.
I think, Merle's probably the best to ever do it as far as artist songwriter.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody.
He told me he wrote a lot of songs tapping his leg.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. And what's funny, I'll forget this, but LeAnn Womack, we had the craziest night with LeAnn Womack in New York. Like she won Album of the Year or something. It was at the awards. And then she lost like a Harry Winston diamond earring that was worth like $300,000.
Oh my God.
Her publicist found it. But the funny thing is we went to this party at this brownstone and everybody was drunk. And so we go up to the door and she was mad because they had hay bales all over the street. And they were like, they think we're a bunch of hicks,
Yeah.
And so when we got up to the door, she kicked that door open at that party and almost hit that guy that played Tony Soprano in the face.
Seriously?
Yeah, he would have went to the hospital, but he was so sweet. Like, she's like, who put these hay bales out here? And he said, I'm going to find who put these hay bales and I'm going to whack them. Like, he went into character.
That's such a Texas girl persona. I mean, she's so Texas. And I think that's why I was always drawn to her too, is just that energy. She just reminded me of all the girls I grew up with. And we actually sang at, there's a group of Opries that when I was growing up, like in Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, and there were like the Stephenville Opry and all these the Granbury Opry. And there was a place called the Johnny High Show, was sort of the middle of all of it. And all of those girls that I named before, LeAnn Womack and Marin and Kacey, Miranda, LeAnn Rimes, they all came up on this show that I also was on. And LeAnn and I didn't cross. LeAnn Womack. And I also was older than all those other girls. But LeAnn Rimes and I were on that show every Saturday night together. Yeah.
Oh, every Saturday night?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Tell me what this song reminds you of. Sometimes when we touch.
Oh my God. Still makes me sweaty.
Oh my gosh. I was looking stuff up and I saw that today because I didn't know what you sang.
Dan Hill recorded that song. And that was the song I sang on Star Search. I was 15 thinking that was an appropriate song. That's the Teal Boots story.
That's one of my favorite stories ever.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
I think you should tell a little of it because I brought it up.
Basically, I got on Star Search when I was 15. I had tried for years to get on the show that now has been repurposed, but it was Ed McMahon's Star Search. And they came to the Dallas area, and I had already gotten like an audition, like sent in videos and all this.
Did you sing that for your audition?
No, I sang I Don't Have. It was a Ronnie Millsap cover of a 50s song, Since I Don't Have You.
Yes.
And anyway, I got on the show, this long process, and my mother, flipped out. My mom's a pageant mom. My sister was in pageants, and she was like, we have to find the perfect outfit. And so she had found this teal colored crazy fringe suede jacket that looked like it was plugged in. It was so bright. I also had, my hair has tempered through the years. My hair was so red as a kid, like just Ronald McDonald, fire engine red. And this teal jacket, I was pale as a ghost. And she decided that wasn't enough with just like black Wranglers and a white button up. She wanted boots that matched this jacket. So she had these boots dyed to match that jacket. So we go out to California and they take her to her seat. I do rehearsal. I was so done for when I heard the other girl sing in practice. She was, I swear it was a 15-year-old Whitney Houston. And I was just like this, this hillbilly, just like hanging on.
Oh,
and so they take my mom to her seat, and I'm back in the dressing room, and I'm looking at myself in a full-length mirror, and I was like, I look ridiculous in this jacket with fringe down to here and these boots. I had no time, but the only thing I could think to do was change out the boots. I was like, what if I just put black cowboy boots on? Maybe it won't be so ridiculous. Go out there, sing my song, and we get our scores, and I lose by quite a margin. And after they take you backstage, when you lose, they put you on a bus right away and take you to the hotel.
Are you serious?
And if you win, you stay and do another episode. So they took me right to the alley, put me on a bus, our little van. And my mom comes around the corner and she's just walking and she's so pissed. And I think she's pissed because I lost. I mean, it's like, she was really expecting me to win. And she just looks at me and takes a long drag off her cigarette and says, "Where are those damn teal boots?"
Oh, shit. Oh my gosh. I just love your mom. I want to meet your mom. I really want to meet your mom. I love the thing with her smoking in the tanning bed. Like, she just sounds like such a character. Anytime I meet people who are really fun, like to me, you're just so funny. Aside, we'll talk about that comedy because I'm so impressed with that. But anytime I meet people who are really funny and like resilient, they usually have a family.
Totally.
Like,
I mean, the thing is, she can get a little offended or her feelings hurt because I tell these stories about her. I sort of give this impression that she was such a hard ass, or that like with that, it's like, that's what she said to you. Of course she was disappointed that I lost. Of course her heart was broken. It was just funny that she thought the reason I lost were those boots. And, my mom was a huge champion for me, but she's a character. And thank God for it.
I love the stories I've heard about your mom.
Yeah, I mean, that's where Mama's Broken Heart by Miranda Lambert was about my mother.
That's one of my favorites.
Merry Go Round by Kacey Musgraves. That was a line my mother said. She said, we were in Texas doing a writing retreat with Kacey, and Josh Osborne asked my mom why there were so many cars in her neighbor's yard and around the house. And my mom said, I don't know, Josh, they're selling Mary Kay or Mary Jane or something. And it was like, songwriter antennas. It was like, oh, that's a line.
I love that song. Well, it's so hard to write a funny song, in the opening line, like that's one of my favorite opening lines of all time. I cut my hair with a rusty pair of scissors. Broken Heart.
Well, that's what my mom and my sister were in a feud over a breakup my sister was going through, and my sister cut her own hair. And that's how she's a Texas girl.
Oh my God. What, did it look bad?
It didn't look good.
Oh, shit. Is she older or younger?
She's younger. She lived right up the road.
Is she, so how many years younger?
She's almost 9 years younger,
yeah.
But we were very close. We still are. We're best friends. And, our parents married and divorced each other multiple times. Actually,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And what's funny is they divorced after I was born, got remarried. and then they had her. And so everybody growing up, because we had so much distance between us, everybody thought we had different dads.
Oh, yeah.
And we would be like, no, same dad's, different marriage.
That's awesome. Like, I'm real close to my brother, too. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I heard something that I love so much about the people that are in your lives the longest are your siblings. Like,
Yeah.
because you
They know
grow up,
everything.
they know everything.
Yeah.
And then, like, usually the parents go before, so you're with them the longest of anybody. Like, and my brother, he's a songwriter, too. And I'm just like, we're really close.
Yeah.
And he's just awesome.
But a lot of people, I've been surprised in my life as I've gone into adulthood and had kids and moved away from my sister. There's a lot of people that aren't close to their siblings.
I
And it's
know.
actually always so shocking to me because people will be like, oh, I have a sister. I don't talk to her, or she lives across the country. We don't ever see each other. I'm always like, wow, I only have one sister. I only have one thing to compare it to. And maybe that's because her and I would have been friends anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
we were meant to know each other.
Does she have the same sense of humor?
We're so similar. I don't think if you met her, you would be like, oh, they look alike. But if you talk to her for 5 minutes, you'd be like, oh, I know who
you
you're related
the same,
to.
Like stories, like before you grew up.
Yeah, and expressions. And we're both, as much as we've resisted it and tried not to be, we're both just like our mother.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you find that out when you get a little older.
Yeah.
That's how, like, my family's the same way. I was going to ask you, because I'm so curious, like, what's the craziest writing appointment you ever had? Just batshit crazy.
Oh my God. I had a crazy write with Florida Georgia Line early on with them, and they were huge.
They were already
were huge. They had hit with Cruise,
Oh,
but
God, that was such a big hit.
and their lives have changed so much, so I can tell this story because now they're dads, and they don't. But Luke Laird and I, we went out to Tyler's place. It was like a log cabin out in the country, and they smoked so much weed that at one point in the write, we were, probably 12 feet from each other. Luke was at the board and I was sitting on a couch. There was so much smoke in that room, I couldn't see Luke.
Oh my!
And I texted him and I was like, are you still here?
What was he thinking?
And I was like, what are we doing here? And like I said, their lives are very different. That was early on. It was rock star status. They were just like...
Yeah, and they blew up.
It was
fast.
crazy. And I doubt they would even remember that. But that felt really nuts.
Yeah.
Just like...
Were they acting crazy or just...
Yeah, just walking around, just like, that sort of mentality of like, oh, we can do this and we can do this. And we got a song out of it. I don't remember the song, but...
Did it get cut? You don't know if it got cut?
I don't think it did.
Yeah.
I don't think it did. But yeah, there were others like that, but that one is one that always sticks out in my mind of just insane. Oh, I'll tell you a really crazy
I love these kind of stories.
Here's a crazy write. So Jennifer Nettles called me probably, it's so funny when you start talking about time. It's probably been 10 years ago now. And she reminds me a lot of you.
She does. I love her.
And her sort of she's so authentic, and she's also very just direct. She just says it.
Yeah.
So basically, I didn't know her. Knew her through people, but we had never written together. We weren't, you know what I mean? We knew each other. She called me. I think she texted me first and said, this is Jennifer Nettles. I'm going to call you, whatever. When I picked up the phone, she said, are you sitting down?
Oh
That's the first thing she said to me.
And y'all don't know each other.
No. And I said, well, I knew who it was somehow. I don't know if if I had her number or what, but I said, well, I'm in the car. So I guess so. And she says, without asking me what my schedule was, without asking me what I had going on, she said, well, a week from today, you're going to be in Calabasas, California, writing with J-Lo.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Did you write with J-Lo?
Yes. With Jennifer. And
what a crazy combo that is, Jennifer and J-Lo.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, what's J-Lo like?
She was so nice. Just could not have been warmer, could not have been more like inviting. She was just like instantly.
Did she seem normal?
Likable. She was then. I don't know if things have changed, but I loved her. Loved her.
Yeah.
She wouldn't know me if it was one day.
She might. Some of those people have great
that's
memories.
True. That's true. But anyway, the point is that we spent 2 days in her studio, in her house. And she cooked dinner for us herself.
Oh my gosh.
We sat at the kitchen counter and J-Lo cooked chicken for us.
That's so crazy.
Anyway, there were, I mean, and that song did get
Who's the
recorded.
most famous? It did get recorded. What's it called?
It's called, oh God, it is not my favorite. It's called My House Is Your House. It's on a Jennifer Nettles record.
But she,
I mean, I love the experience of it. I shouldn't say that because it's fine, but I just mean
the title.
The experience was wonderful. It's an okay song.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
There was a lot going on.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but so Jennifer cut it.
Yes, but it was a duet.
Oh, it was a duet.
Yeah,
okay,
they're
I'm
both
listening
on
to
it.
that
Yeah,
today.
they're both on it.
Oh my gosh, that's a wild combo for a duet.
Yeah, and it was, there's some really crazy lines in it that like you kind of can't tell if we're joking. It's like, you do this and I do this, but we're really the same.
Yeah.
Like our boys shooting hoops. J-Lo said that line. And then Jennifer said, our boys shooting deer. And then I'm Jenny from the dirt road. I'm Jenny from the block. It was like this back and forth thing. I mean, it was cute, but it also, I don't know that it aged that well, if that makes sense. You know, there's things that are trendy at the time. And then you look back and go, ugh. But with that said, they were both lovely. Jennifer Nettles is one of my favorite people. She's just a doll. I mean, I really love her.
Who's the most famous person? Is J-Lo the most famous?
Dolly, probably.
You wrote with Dolly?
I didn't write with Dolly, but I've produced a couple of things on her.
Oh, wow.
So as far as working with,
don't even seem real.
She didn't. Have you met her?
Well, when we got nominated, we won ACM Song of the Year. I was so pregnant I wasn't supposed to fly. Like the doctor told me not to, but of course I did. When they announced us or whatever, I was jumping up and down on the side of the stage. And I can't remember if she was hosting the awards or I think maybe she was hosting the awards, but she's like, girl, you're going to have that baby right here. You
that's
need to
funny.
stop. You need to stop jumping. But I met her then, and then I met her a couple other times. And then our daughter, Magnolia, was in a video like last year with Dolly.
Oh, wow.
And she ended up sitting right next to her and they talked. They had a great talk and like it was amazing.
Yeah, you know, I'll tell you a fun story about her. I worked on this project called Forever Country where we had like 30 heroes, legends, new artists, everybody. It was on this thing.
Were you producing
I was producing and arranging it. Josh Osborne and I arranged the 3 songs, Take Me Home Country Road, I Will Always Love You, and On the Road Again, and made them like a 5-minute mashup. And so it was ultimately for a video that everybody was going to be on and or in. And Dolly needed to sing one line, the closing line of the entire song, after 30 voices have sang, and each one had a moment. Dolly was the last moment, and it was I Will Always Love You. And all she had to sing was that line one time. So she likes to sing really early in the morning. So no joke, we had the studio ready for her at 7 a.m. I'm driving to the studio on Music Row, Ryan Gore's place, and he is the shyest person on earth.
Oh, gosh.
And he texts me at 6:50 and says, she's here.
Oh,
and he is like, what do I do? And I was like,
by himself
yes. There? And she had someone with her, like a manager or a person. But anyway, I get there. And by the time I get there, she's already in the booth. She has her headphones on. That's how we met the first time, through the glass. And I put, I'm like, producer. I mean, that sounds insane. I'm producing Dolly Parton.
That's amazing.
It. So I hit the talk back and I was like, hey, Dolly, I'm Shane. And she said, just tell me where you need me to sing. And I said, you're going to have to give me a minute to catch my breath here.
Yeah.
I said, this is a really big deal for me. And for me to tell you where to sing feels really strange. But she was so real and grounded and easy that she even went along with that. And she's like, all right, just tell me when you're ready. And I showed her and she sang it flawlessly. And I said, as much as I want to keep you here, I don't think we need any more. And
so
she
did
said,
she just sing it like once or twice?
She sang it once. And then I said, it's perfect. And she goes, let me give you another one in case that doesn't work. And she did it again. And then luckily she hung out and took pictures and we got to talk a little and had some mutual friends. But that's definitely near the top of my stories.
I don't know that there's a bigger...
I met Oprah.
Oh, I need to hear your Oprah story because you're going to shit when you hear my Oprah story.
Mine is not
so messed up.
Mine's not that crazy. I met her.
She's as famous. I was thinking, who's the most famous? Probably Oprah, Dolly, and Taylor.
Yeah, on the planet. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
And I'm sure like there's some guys too,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
those three come to mind. All right, how'd you meet Oprah?
Oh, it was a very quick meeting. I was at this, it was like a retreat for people, like there were songwriters there were authors there were movie stars there. And it's this sort of a wellness weekend where they have speakers and they just talk about, just different ways to make the world better. And Oprah was one of the guests. And that was a big one for me because it was a small group.
Yeah.
And so when you're standing there and you're talking to different celebrities in a circle and she just walks over to say hello to the other celebrities and I'm just standing there and it's just Oprah and somebody's like, "Oh, do you know Shane?" Of course she's like, "No." And I was just like, I was like, I can't catch my breath.
Yeah.
And I had this very awkward moment where she, how she'll put her hands up like this
all
with
the
people?
time. Yes.
I didn't know what she was doing, and she did that to me because they said, "Oh, he wrote Shucked, the Broadway musical." And
so that's recently.
And she goes, "Yeah." And she goes, "Oh," and she put her hands up like, "Cool for you." And I went to shake her hand like a little dinosaur. And it was just so obvious. Like the thing is, when someone is that known, they're very aware.
Yeah.
Of
she approaches people that way. Like she knows they know her.
Exactly. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
As opposed to trying to pretend like that we don't all know who she is.
Yeah. Totally.
That the energy definitely was that. I mean, she is who she is and she knows it.
I know famous people. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I forget they don't know me. Like,
Right.
I think like with her, this is so messed up. I took my mom to Live Your Best Life tour in Tampa, Florida.
Okay.
And it was like for Mother's Day. And so we're staying at this hotel across the street from the place Oprah's going to be talking. And that night we're at dinner and my mom's like, "Where do you think Oprah's staying?" I'm like, "Oh, she could never stay here. It's just all these people are her fans." And so we're talking and stuff. And then my back was kind of hurting. So like I decided I'm going to go get in the hot tub. Well, I get my, like, I didn't even have a swimsuit, but I get my sports bra and my shorts on and I go down there. And when I got down there, there's a couple making out in the hot tub. And I'm like, great. There's no way I'm getting in there now, like, because it's just those two.
It was Oprah and Stedman.
No. No,
joking.
it's, that would be insane. I would have got in. I think I would have got in. Like that. I keep bumping it. So I go down there to get in the hot tub. There's this couple's in there. And so I'm like, ugh. So I go to the gym because I could see out the window I could see when they're going to get out, like I'll know. And so I'm on the treadmill, like, but the crazy thing, I don't think I had ever worked out in a gym at a hotel, like at the time. This was 15 years ago.
Right.
I don't know.
That.
Yeah. And so I wasn't even supposed to be in there. That's what like I was talking about. But so I'm walking on the treadmill, watching out the window. And I just see in the mirror, Gail and Oprah and Gail walk in.
To the gym.
And that gym, some guy came in there first with a headset and like, I'm like, what's this weirdo doing? Yeah. And then they come in and I saw Oprah and Gail in the mirror and I just stopped walking and went flying off the treadmill and fell right in front of them.
That's hilarious.
But then I jumped up and said, "This is destiny."
Yes.
But I only said that because I wasn't supposed to be in there. I'd have never known that she was there. I wasn't supposed to be in the gym. I was getting in the hot tub. I'd never been in a gym.
Yeah.
But she backed up with her hand. She's like, "What's destiny?" And I was like, I don't even know what I said to her.
Well, can you imagine, though, how many people say that to her?
Well, and I learned it's a trigger word for a psycho. The word, you start throwing destiny around, it freaks people out.
I just mean that I know what a believer I am in the manifesting of your life and the design. And it's no accident that people, like even talking about the LeAnn Womack thing, I waited all those years for someone to record my song and it just happened to be my favorite singer.
Yeah.
And even meeting Oprah, because I'm so inspired by her. So what I'm saying is, I know that there is a destined and a manifest to you seeing her, but I can only imagine how many people say that to her.
Oh,
like, this is meant to be. And yeah, it is for them. But
it was like, I think I freaked her completely. Well, first of all, I fly off and fall in front of them, which that freaked them out a little bit. But then I just jump up and say that. And then the most embarrassing part, though, is I asked, oh my gosh, this is embarrassing and screwed up. I was trying out or going to be on that Can You Duet, like American Idol were producers of it. But I was trying to figure out if I'm going to get that show or not. And I asked Oprah something like, well, could you refer me to this, like about this? And she said, I don't know you. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like,
that's hilarious.
I forgot. I know you. You've been in my living room 25 years. But yeah. Okay. So, but then the next day at the seminar, Oprah's like, where's Aimee at? She called me out because I walked next to him and talked to him for a little bit. I got back on the treadmill and we probably talked 15 minutes. And then I went to get my mom so she could meet Oprah.
But that's so cool. And she stayed in there and met your mom.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she was so sweet, but she was talking. I wish I had a copy of that tape. She was talking like, Aimee, where are you? And she started talking in a real Southern accent, you know? And then in front of everybody, she was like, and I was going to ask you this too. She was talking about in that seminar saying no. And she was talking about how, and then she asked me in front of everybody, she was like, well, she said, how did you feel when I told you no? And I was like, I didn't really care. You know what I mean? That's just the truth. Nothing much. I don't know. I just bounced right up.
Totally.
And so I was like, I didn't really, care. Because I understood what you were talking about after, but then so she was telling people that I've gotten better at saying no. Like, what about you?
I'm horrible at it.
You get asked to do everything.
I'm terrible at saying no. I'm still working on it. I very rarely will really put a boundary up. I come up with different ways that I wish I was better at just saying, I don't have the bandwidth. I don't have the energy. I'm better. There've been a couple of asks recently where I was just like, I don't think you really know what you're asking me. You mean
they're
sort of like when you said that to Oprah.
Yeah.
When you look back and you're like, it didn't make any sense. You know what I mean? And sometimes I'll try to say to the person, like, this might look different later, that it's a bigger deal what you're asking me than you think.
Yeah.
A lot of times that happens with like people who want somebody in their family to write a song with me.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And trying to explain to people that really doesn't happen like that.
Yeah.
Is hard. But in general, I have a really hard time saying no. I love to say yes to something and then get a resentment about it. And, and then be mad then when the person, look, just like you asked, because you know what? I don't know if I'm ever going to see Oprah again.
Yeah.
Might as well use this moment. What do I have to lose? And I understand. I mean, I remember when I was trying to get people to write with me and I would run into someone. I remember talking to Keith Urban in a Waffle House and I pitched him a song idea. You and I are similar in that way. Yeah. And he didn't like it. And we're friends now and he's recorded a lot of my songs. This was years ago. But the idea, which I don't remember, I just remember him saying, doesn't make the guy sound very good. It actually kind of sounds like a bad guy song. Like I wouldn't say that. And I was so embarrassed. And then as the months went by, I went, of course that was so silly. But I had to do it.
Did he remember?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's weird. Like you're talking about remembering and we're talking about remembering people. Like when you write so many songs, like Chris is just like you wrote with him. Like we wrote with him multiple times when he doesn't recognize somebody.
Right.
And that's when a lot of people just say, good to see you instead of nice to meet you.
Totally. Well, and I mean, remembering people's names or if somebody, I can't imagine what it's like for an actual celebrity.
I know.
I mean, can you imagine what, because the recognition in people's eyes when they look at you and they think you know them.
Yeah.
And imagine that energy if you were an actual, like somebody like Dolly or like Oprah.
I can't even imagine.
No, I mean, they're great at it, both of them. They just make you feel like instantly like you.
They know how you feel about them, kind
That's
of.
it. That's it, yeah.
That's the thing. Did you ever write with Taylor?
Mm-mm. No.
Yeah, she's got that crazy memory.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Garth.
You reminded me of her. Yeah, and Garth too. Because I was waiting tables and Garth, I asked him, are y'all writing a hit today? Because he was in there with like 2 songwriters. And he's like, well, if we do, I'll come back and tell you. And I'm thinking, yeah, right. And then like by the time he came in there looking for me, I didn't work there anymore. And he said, tell her we wrote Papa Love Mama. Like that day. He remembered that.
No, he's like, I mean, I've met him a few times. He always knows who I am. We've never had a real conversation.
That's awesome.
He knows. I feel like the last time I saw him, he remembered where I was from. I was like, I don't, you know.
That's how Taylor is.
Yeah.
We were working with an artist and a guy at Sony said, he was kind of bitching about this artist. Like, she don't even know my name. And I've been like working with her and put so much time into this. Not Taylor, this other girl. He said, and I ran into Taylor the other day and she asked me about my kids by name.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
like, that's her. She's just like got a crazy memory.
Yeah.
But I thought about her because like the first time she came over here, like I had a title for her and I still remember the title. It was because she was like 16.
Yeah.
And the title was Cloud 999, which I don't know why I thought that was good, but I thought it was young.
I don't think it's bad.
I thought it was kind of young, like for her. And plus we had never written with a teenager before.
Right.
We had written with females and female artists, but I had never ever done anything like we were doing.
You can't talk about drinking. You can't talk about sex. You can't. I mean, it's like
she kind of like we wrote probably the craziest song in my catalog that day. Like that song is insane. But I realized she's just talking about her life.
Yeah.
She's talking about some guy she went on a date with, ran over his own foot. And she was talking about that movie Carrie and just talking about like a homeless guy. It was just crazy, but it was awesome because I think that's why she has so much success. She's just telling real things.
She's on a different like frequency.
Yeah.
The amount of songs.
Nobody has that many hit records. Like,
well, and just
over
that,
and over.
that are that good.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
her concerts, they're just insane.
I took my daughter to Eras tour and it was like life-changing.
You know, and like we went to see her and then about a month later we went to see this other female artist and it was really crazy because Taylor had been playing a while. She had played 22 songs and I look at the set list and she had 22 more to go.
Yeah.
44. I don't even get how you do that.
I don't know how she did it day after day.
Yeah.
I mean, I was so exhausted when I left there with my kid.
Yeah.
That I thought, and look what she just did, and she's going to get up tomorrow and do it again.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. She's just built different.
Yeah,
she's built for it.
Yeah,
you know?
She's some kind of crazy anomaly.
She was made for the whole thing.
I never got a cut on her. We got to be real good friends, like because we just like decorating and all the same stuff.
Yeah.
Like, so we got to be real good friends. Like, and I don't know. I knew she was going to be famous when I first met her, but like, you never dream somebody's going to be like that.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
It was just absolutely nuts. Do you have any OCDs?
Oh, like as far as like what I have, like a pattern of something?
Yeah, just something.
I have an ice like fetish.
Like eating ice?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that for a while.
And I have always been that way. And I have to have, like when I write a song, I have to have like either a giant Sonic cup, which that'd be
Sonic
if I'm
ice,
in Nashville.
the nugget ice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we have in our house. And
we got, that was what a present, because I was obsessed with ice. Like, was it a present?
It was.
Yeah, because you pay hard to buy for.
Well, my husband got me that when I turned 40, actually. But yeah, I mean, I guess I do have OCD tendencies of, but not like where I have to turn a door a certain number of times or, anything like that.
That's what I'm trying to, like, I don't do that either. I got number issues, but like people learned like I like certain numbers. When I'd be negotiating a contract, they would know, and then they knew how to work me. I finally figured out like this isn't probably good. They know this.
Right. That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. How'd you meet Michael?
Well, there's a period of time between 2000 and 2007 where I left Nashville. I had been here from 94 to 2000. I went to LA 2000 to 2007. Then I came back to Nashville. I went for a 2-week trip and it ended up lasting 7 years. I was
I did not know that.
Yeah. And I was writing songs and playing like songwriter shows at Hotel Cafe and doing all that, trying to do an artist thing. It never happened. And basically I bartended and did a lot of drugs. And it was a part of my story. But I got sober and have been sober at different times in my life. But the first time I got sober, and I went to a sober party, and it was in Palm Springs, a big gay sober party, like a weekend. He lived in Atlanta and he was sober, and he went with his friends to this same party. So we met there at this big sober weekend, thinking it was just a weekend. And although he says he knew it wasn't, but I was like, I mean, I live in LA. This guy's in Atlanta. And then it wasn't that long after that I went to Nashville for a writing trip, wrote Last Call. And
I love Last Call.
And I had lost my house in LA. It was during the crash in 2008.
Yeah.
And my place, I couldn't make the payment. And so it went into foreclosure, and he was in mortgages and he helped me get out of that. It's just like this crazy, we met, and it was the things that I couldn't handle in my life, and then moved back to Nashville, but literally because I got that cut. That was what moved me back to Nashville.
Yeah. And he lived here?
He lived in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah. He lived in Atlanta.
And we did that. We did Atlanta and Nashville back and forth for 5 years until our kids were born.
Oh, wow.
And so when we started having kids, we obviously need to be in the same city. But he would work the week in Atlanta, and I would do my writing. And then on the weekends, I would either go down there or he would come up here. And it really worked for us. It was a great, because it was a time when things started working for me in the music business, and I needed full attention on it.
Yeah.
And so I'd do doubles all week, you know what I mean? And then we would spend Friday, Saturday, Sunday together. And he was working that same way in his respective field. So he would go back and and then what ended up happening, we always thought I would end up in Atlanta because in the beginning it was slow going with the music. And we just thought when we get married and have kids, I'll move to Atlanta. But by the time we did that, my career had really taken off.
Oh,
and
gosh. Yeah. I mean, I remember, because I'll go through phases where I don't write songs.
Yeah.
And I was asking people, who's the hottest writer in town? And everybody, Shane McAnally. Then I'd ask again, 2 years later, who's the hottest writer in town?
They might not say that now.
And they'd be like, Shane McAnally. I don't know. I'm just so impressed with you. There's a handful of people that I just really want to learn, what the hell are you doing? The fact that you live in LA, but you have such a great career here, you know what I mean? And you've done so many different things, from being on a TV show to doing a musical, to opening a publishing company, to writing all these hits, producing all these hits. I mean, just across the board.
Yeah.
And I love that, because that's fearlessness. But I'm curious too about, you just seem to know how to run a team. I went over there to your publishing company. It's my favorite publisher in town by far. The energy, because Nashville
wonderful.
can feel like a dentist office in those publishers.
I know.
I mean, it's a bad vibe a lot of times, but the vibe, it was so creative and just everybody
there. It is a
there.
dream over there. I wish I could take more credit. It did start with me and Robin Palmer, who's still there, who was pitching my songs literally out of her house, and we built this company together, and my husband did the business side of it. But somebody has been, it's God, obviously, but for some reason, I've just always said that there are just angels in my life. There always have been. I'm surrounded by people that really do have my best interests at heart, and I trust that. And so that's how Smack was built. That's how all of those things that you mentioned were built. And the times that something hasn't worked, I knew it from the beginning that it wouldn't, but I still did it.
Did you have a gut instinct? Do you follow, when you have, because I've done a couple things this year. It's I knew before I even did it. I knew, but I was impatient.
I know.
I just was impatient and wanted to do it. But I knew. And then it's a problem you got to find a way out of.
Exactly. And it ends up just kicking the ball down the road. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious too about, I just think it's so cool to me. You can have such a big career and then travel the world with your family.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff that matters most. I mean, what's the craziest thing that happened on that trip?
Oh, gosh.
A million. Y'all took a million trips.
We went to all 7 continents. We took the kids out of 4th grade, and we traveled with our 10-year-old twins, boy and a girl. Yeah, they're 10 and 11 that we did this trip around the world. And oh my gosh, Aimee. I wouldn't even know where to start. I can tell you that is, some really wacky things that happened. Like at one point we were in, I don't remember. I think it was Colombia, and our kids had heard, because in a lot of countries, there's still this gay is illegal, but it's not. They don't really.
I know what you're talking about. We found that out. I didn't even know that existed.
Right.
And we heard something about that. Like, I can't even remember where we were.
They don't enforce it. They're not looking to imprison gay people. It's
that's
still
so stupid to me.
But wherever we were, our son had heard that, like from a tour guide or something, like, oh, well, it's technically illegal to be gay here. And he internalized that. We didn't even know he heard that.
Yeah.
And we were, we got at an airport, a lot of times when you're traveling internationally, they will talk to the children separately because they want to make sure they're not being taken or something.
Yeah.
And so they said to our son, they were like, so where are you going? And, he said, wherever we were headed. And they said, where's your mom? And he goes, she died.
Oh my gosh. Did he tell you he told him that, or did
No,
they?
I was standing there. And when we got through, I was like, buddy, why did you say that? And he goes, that guy said that it was illegal to be gay. And so I didn't want them to take you. And I was like, actually, it's pretty smart.
Quick thinking. Like that. Yeah, I love that story about your son, like asking, tell that story.
Yeah. So when, that's the funny thing about having two dads is they just always knew they had two dads. It never occurred to them that weirdly that we were gay. I know that sounds crazy.
No, I totally
People
get it.
are always like, what do you mean they didn't know you're gay? I mean, we slept in the same room but we're their parents.
Yeah.
And so when the kids were 8 years old, we were down at 38. We used to have a place down there. And a friend of ours was visiting, and our daughter was sitting at the kitchen counter, and our son was sitting on a couch, and he was like, playing a video game, like laid back. Seems like he's not paying attention. He's kind of dopey. And our daughter is talking to our friend and says, we're not there. And she's saying, are you single? And he's like, I am single. And she goes, oh, well, do you want a wife? And he goes, oh, no, actually, I'm gay like your dad. And our son sits up and goes, my dad's gay. And our friend is like, oh my God, I've just outed. So he's like, yeah, your dad's gay. And our son goes, does our other dad know?
That's one of my favorite stories. I just freaking love that story.
It's so innocent and it makes so much sense. But then later we talked to him and I was like, what do you think gay is?
Yeah.
And he said, well, it's when two boys kiss. And I said, well, you've seen Pop and I kiss. And he goes, I don't know. I just never thought about it. And I realized they just thought we were like Bert and Ernie or something. Like we were just eternal roommates. But truthfully, there is something super sweet about it because they think of us as just their safety.
Yeah.
And we're both their parents.
Well, I just think y'all are such great parents. You know what I mean? I just think you guys are such great parents. Like
I show the good stuff.
Your kids are so funny. Like they're
funny.
So funny.
Yeah.
That your kids remind me of our kids with their sense of humor.
Well, it's because y'all are funny. I mean,
and they're just like, what do your kids think about your career?
Nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing.
That's the thing.
It is like, whoever the hottest person is at the moment, Taylor.
Yeah.
If you don't know them, then that means nothing to them.
Yeah, our kids are the same exact way. I think every super famous person needs a kid.
Oh,
it screws them up. It'll keep them
it keeps you grounded. I mean, I have Grammys and our kids have never noticed them in our house. And then until somebody else came over and was like, oh my God, you have Grammys?
How many Grammys do you
I
have?
4.
4?
Yeah.
I don't even know if I know anybody with 4. That's a lot.
But it's sort of beyond my...
What'd you get Grammys for?
They were all songs that I wrote with Kacey Musgraves.
Really?
Country songs. Yeah, meaning Country Song of the Year.
Was Arrow one of them?
No, but we did. I did win for that album for producing it. So I have 1 for producing and 3 for writing.
What a cool
Space
song.
Cowboy, The Architect. Oh, and Merry Go Round.
Well, the thing that's wild with those songs and with her is she was popular and it's awesome. You know what I mean?
Critical
it's
and,
such
yeah,
a different feeling if you have a hit song you're proud of.
Yeah.
Some of them just like, I'm surprised.
Well,
Do you
and
have some
truthfully,
that
you
you're
know,
surprised were even hits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess a lot more that you surprise aren't hits because,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
But, oh my God, I mean, especially comparatively, because most of the songs I've written with Kacey has technically only had one radio hit. I mean, that was Merry Go Round, and the rest.
I didn't know that.
I mean, she's had
But
songs that have streamed and have done well, and like Rainbow would be considered a hit song because it's had a life beyond radio.
Yeah.
But you know, our metric in Nashville, we care so much about terrestrial radio. So in that regard, she hasn't really had big hits. So there have definitely been moments where, like The Architect, which was the song we won
That's such a
for
cool
last
song.
year.
I saw, what's funny is I didn't know that song, and I saw that it won the Grammy, and then I went and listened to it. It's just so good.
Well, that's the kind of thing that you're kind of like, it can be disappointing when you came up before it won. I mean, obviously that sort of, the Grammy was a nice healing for all of it. But, you know, it went to radio but didn't do anything. And so that's, you know, those are sometimes hard to take.
Yeah,
but
radio, like, there's not songs on radio that are
that
are that good, really. I mean, a lot of times,
they're just
like,
it's a different
they're
time.
kind of just fluffy.
But remember when we were kids and even young adults, the songs like House That Built Me.
Oh my
and
gosh,
songs
that song.
that you go back to. I mean, remember Where Have You Been by Kathy Mattea, and these elaborate stories about someone with dementia.
Yeah.
I mean, those
I
songs
love those
songs could never
stories.
be on the radio now because it's just a different time, and that's okay. You know, I definitely have been the guy that was lucky enough to happen at a time when strange songs were still getting played on the radio.
Yeah.
But you know, in the last few years, I've been the guy who has the coolest song on the
and
album,
that's the
but not the
best.
single.
But it's so awesome when you get a song you're proud of.
Yeah.
Recorded by somebody like LeAnn Womack or something.
Absolutely.
That's like the best. What's your favorite cut you've ever had?
I love Last Call because it was first. Somewhere With You by Kenny Chesney.
I love Somewhere With You. That song gets so stuck in my head.
I think because that really represented what I did.
Yeah.
And it wasn't common.
Yeah.
That song was weird.
And it was really cool for him, too.
It was different for him. And that really, I feel like that was the song that really sort of lit my career on fire because he was okay with it.
Yeah.
So then all these other songs that had that weird phrasing, people started asking for them.
Oh, and the one, Growing Up in that.
Yeah, American Kids.
The phrasing
that
on
one,
that one is amazing.
That one has really, I did that at the symphony last night. And
yeah, I want to talk about
it's so
that too.
fun to see the reaction of people still. That song, and Kenny talks about that song. You know, I went to the Sphere and saw him sing it. And it's amazing. He's kind of had a second go because of American Kids. Those are his words.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, he said that added 10 years to my radio career. And
he's smart.
He is smart. He's so smart. And he knows, you know, he's a great songwriter.
Yeah.
But he knows to also record songs he didn't write.
I know. And that's the thing. Like, I was trying to tell somebody the other day, if you look at the artists like Tim McGraw, Kenny, Blake, George, they all cut outside songs.
Yeah.
They knew they couldn't write
Garth,
the best song.
who was one of the best
Garth.
artist writers ever. But many of those songs he didn't write. He didn't write Friends in Low Places.
Oh, yeah, that's
You know,
right.
I mean, it's like Kenny wrote I Go Back by himself.
Yeah.
So that tells you the kind of writer he is.
Yeah.
But he also knows that we're hitting the pavement every day.
And he respects songwriters.
He does.
That's rare these days, too. I mean, like, it feels like everybody's got to write everything, especially the females. I mean, the females, like, we would get with somebody to write, and, like, they would come in, and it didn't matter how good they sang. I wanted to hear their first single. What are you putting out?
Yeah.
And usually it was so crazy because it would be like a song that was not their best. Then they'd play their third. This is going to be my third single.
Oh,
and it's
I know.
like, well, that should be your first single for starters.
Yeah.
Like, because that's a hit song. And I think a hit song will always win, even if it's a ballad and the label's really pushing tempo. I think
100%. I'm so tired of hearing that forever.
Yeah.
They need a tempo. The things that cut through just cut through because they're great and they're different. And that that conversation of when they say we have to have a tempo for the first single, I'm like, no, you don't. Not when the right ballad shows up. And they know it too.
Yeah.
It's just running scared. The business has just changed so much, and people are just trying to crack a code that is not crackable.
Yeah. And I mean, like, you have had tempo hits. Like a tempo hit, man, especially if you get one like I would call
American Kids is a tempo.
Yeah,
I mean, Body Like a Back Road is a song that.
I forgot you even wrote that song.
That was, but a lot of my stuff is.
Did you produce him?
I did.
Yeah,
and I still work with him and very, very closely. He was so also responsible for what happened for me because I met him and Sam Hunt and Kacey Musgraves around the same time. They were not connected, but she had this incredibly critical thing and he had this commercial thing.
Yeah.
And I was associated with both of them. And that really, it was accidental. It wasn't intentional, but when people say like, how did you do that?
Yeah.
It was just, I just happened to bet on these two horses that really did well.
And y'all worked great together. Which songs did you write for Sam?
Pretty much everything.
What's your favorite one on the record?
Like that first record?
Yeah.
Break Up in a Small Town.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
That song, it was so different for him. I mean, that was the first record. It was different for everyone.
Everybody, yeah.
And, that wasn't a number one record, but that song has acted because it was so strange. And I said it was different for him. That was his first record. It was just so different for the town. And he bet on it. He was like pushed for it.
Yeah.
And that really changed things in a great way. I think a lot of people were resistant to it, but now everybody sounds like that record.
That's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
That might be my favorite song you've written.
Wow, thank you. Well, it's up there for me.
I just love that song.
Yeah,
and that's another case of a song being killer and a radio hit. That's just the best kind.
He had that chorus. You will get down with somebody.
That's my favorite. You won't believe how many times I tried to write something that hit on that.
I know.
That hit on that beat.
He had that whole chorus. And
so you produced it?
Yeah.
How did you do that anyway?
Well, I will say Zach Crowell, we produced it together, but I'm putting that in quotes if anyone who's just listening. Zach is he's an incredible engineer, and I do not know how to run a board. Mm-hmm. So I can't look at I have to have live musicians.
Yeah.
And that was when things were really changing to a lot of sounds that were triggered and things like that.
Well, and I think that started a whole different thing.
It did.
That
and Sam,
his whole thing.
Sam knew that.
Yeah.
Sam was like, it has to be this other thing that with the demos and things we were doing weren't going to get him all the way there.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to do it. And so he found Zach. Zach did Break Up in a Small Town. Although I worked with the live musicians and am credited as a producer, that drop that you're talking about, that was Zach. I mean, that was where that sound came from that he was doing.
How did he do? What is happening on that?
Some
just
people,
the way that hits
I know, it's almost like a reverse. I'd have to ask him, but
another song that does it, because I got obsessed with that song, and then I got there's a song by The Weeknd called The Hills. And
it does that too.
Yeah.
It almost feels like
I love it.
I don't know how to describe it. I know exactly what you mean because it also hits me that way.
Yeah.
And when he first played what I would call like a drop, when he played it, I was like, I can't believe this is the same song. I don't know how you did that. But Sam knew where it was supposed to be. I mean, Sam has incredible instincts.
That's what I've heard. I never wrote with him, but
he's a real writer. I mean,
I'm gonna have to track him down.
He would be a hit songwriter without a career.
I love this story, and I may have this a little wrong. Somebody told me this, but I just loved it. So Keith Urban cut a song. Mm-hmm. I don't know, was it on his record or was it on Sam
This has
already?
happened to me a couple of times. It happened to me both with Sam and with Kacey. Now, the Sam song I was producing, I did not write it.
Which song?
It was Cop Car.
Oh, yeah, Cop Car.
And it was the story of Sam and his wife, now wife. It really happened to them. And it was a very detailed account of a night that he got put in the back of a cop car with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And Keith Urban heard it because these publishers in this town.
Oh,
when
yeah.
Somebody when Sam hadn't had a hit yet.
Yeah.
And so they're all like, you want to bet on Keith Urban?
Yeah.
Because You don't know what's going to happen with you because artists blow up all the time. You don't know if it's going to work, if
Yeah.
it's not. So basically what happened was one of the publishers played it for Keith and he fell in love with it. And he called Sam and asked for his blessing. And I don't think he really got it. I mean, I think, it's fine now. This was a decade ago. But I think in the moment, it was like, Sam was like, well, how'd you even hear that song?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times these publishers expect that these new artists are going to be like, please get me a Keith Urban cut. And that just wasn't where he was.
Yeah.
They ended up both cutting it. Keith had a big hit on it. It ended up also, it's a huge live song for Sam. I think he would say now it all worked out.
Yeah.
He had plenty of hits from that record and, it's his song. But the exact same thing happened with the first Kacey record.
Oh my
The
gosh.
song called Mama's Broken Heart.
Oh, yeah.
And we wrote that, Kacey, Brandy, and I wrote that song. And Kacey did this crazy demo of it. And she was, intent on cutting it. And the publisher, one of the publishers, I even think it was her publisher.
Yeah.
Because she didn't have a hit yet.
Yeah.
They were like, we should play this for Miranda. And
did they tell her first or just do it?
No. And the craziestness of at her wedding, her first wedding, Kacey was there and Miranda said, I've heard this on Mama's Broken Heart and I want to record it. And Kacey was like, huh? Like, sort of caught off guard.
Yeah.
And what she did was really for Brandy and I, who were not swimming in hits at that point. I mean, Brandy had never had a hit. I think I had one or two. And, everybody was telling her like, I mean, think about Brandy and Shane. They wrote this song. Miranda Lambert's the biggest artist on the planet.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so Kacey asked Miranda, she said, if you cut it, can I sing on it with you? Which she did. So what ended up happening ultimately, the great blessing of it was we had a big hole in her record that we went to Texas and wrote Merry-Go-Round.
Oh,
and
wow.
That was why.
So that was meant to be.
Yeah, and they were both singles at the same time. I think it legitimized Kacey as a songwriter right away.
Me too. That song, like, there's songs like you remember where you were the first time you heard them, That's one. Break Up in a Small Town's one.
That's nice.
Like that. And then I just flipped out when I heard, you brought it up. I bring it up all the time. The House That Built Me. It's like, if somebody came in with that idea, I think I would pass out.
Even hearing the title, you're just like, well, I remember hearing the title.
Yeah.
And saying, have you heard the song, The House That Built Me?
Yeah.
And being like, no, but my God, where was I that day? Why has that never occurred to me?
I heard they wrote it. Like
for 7 years or something. Yeah.
Hey, do you ever write with Tom Douglas?
I've written with Tom one time and loved it, but we know each other. But you know how some paths just don't cross that often, and
we
ours
always
just haven't.
Joke like he writes a song at the end of every song. Like he just does these outros that are just go and go and go.
Yeah. Oh, he's brilliant.
I'm trying to think of all the stuff I want to ask you because there's so much, but I have to know about the comedy.
Okay.
I have to know everything.
Well, I've always loved comedy. I mean, I was, a kid that grew up with afternoon sitcoms after school, The Jeffersons and Who's the Boss.
Yeah.
And I was always drawn to that world. Country music was my first love, but sitcoms, Friends, stand-up comedians, I always just loved them. I mean, I'm that person who just has watched every stand-up special and is like, oh my God, repeating jokes. And, when you're in Nashville and you have the opportunity to do like the Bluebird and then you do rounds other places, what ended up happening along the way was I was always funny. I mean,
you've always been funny. And the songs,
friends,
like to have songs that are funny, to me, that's the hardest thing to do as a songwriter. Nothing's harder than writing a funny song.
Well, I agree. And growing up, I think people I grew up with, they would say, that would be what people would say. Shane was always funny. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of it was because I was just wanting to fit in so badly. And also I was in the closet in a small town in Texas. You got to be something. I couldn't play football, so I was funny.
And painful things make people funny,
I think. It's true. Absolutely. And finding the humor in that is really the savior, So with that said, for years, Josh Osborne and I would do these rounds and Bluebird, and we would just laugh. I mean, just the whole time. And we'd write silly songs. And Trevor Rosen, actually, before he was in Old Dominion, he used to do stand-up comedy years ago. And we would just always banter. And I just said, you know what? Someday I'm going to take all this stuff and all these stories that I've been telling you about my mother for all these years, and I'm going to do a version of stand-up. And when I turned 50, what I did was I had a birthday party in Vegas. A bunch of our friends, those people that I just mentioned, were there. And I wrote a little 20-minute stand-up set. And basically, because they were at my party and I was paying for it, I said, I'm going to get up. And I basically took a microphone and stood on a stage and did 20 minutes of stand-up comedy in front of all my friends and family. And, you know, it was a safe place. And they loved me, and they were going to love me either way.
Did they go crazy?
They did.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, you've got to do this. And so, look, I'm still at the very beginning of it.
It's so
I'm,
impressive to me. Like, I've heard that stand-up's the hardest thing there is. That's what everybody says.
Well, I have the great crutch of music.
Yeah.
So I can story tell the songs, like, you know, say this is how it was written. And what I do is I tell the stories of my childhood and then go, and then look how this showed up in a song.
Yeah.
So it can also be inspirational, and it can also show that everything you do.
It's impressive, man. People loved it when we came to see you at Zany's and you played, you know, after you had already been telling these stories. I was just like, wow, most people that do comedy, they don't start out with that long. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Kill Tony's 1 minute.
I know. Oh my God, I watched that too, and I get so nervous for those people. I didn't know. What's so funny is when I wrote the show, you know what I mean, and started writing it, I didn't really know what to do. So I wrote an hour. I was like,
an hour?
Yeah. And that was what I did. I went to the Bluebird first because, you know, that was a safe place for me. And it's small.
An hour is crazy.
I know it is. I know it is now, especially. And my friends that are, you know, comedians that I've talked to, they're like, oh, do you know, how do you have 20 minutes? I'm like, I have an hour 5. And they're just like, that's
can't
not
believe it,
where you start. Well, and also, look, you know, I've got a lot to work out. I understand why people do it over and over and over before they tape a special, because I got to go on tour with Walker Hayes last year and do 12 different markets with him. And I did 30 minutes before him in theaters. And it just got so much better every time I did it.
Yeah.
And, you know, just doing it over and over, even though it's a lot of the same stuff, you come up with new stuff on the spot.
Yeah.
It's like writing songs.
Well, that's how Louis C.K., he doesn't write his stuff down. He'll just have an idea, like, I'm going to talk about my dog when it ate chocolate.
Exactly.
And then he figures it out on stage.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's the same with LeAnn Morgan, who is truly
so
my
great.
hero. I mean, as far as this goes, I'm just so inspired by her. You know, she's 60 years old. She's been doing it for over 25 years, and now she's hit her stride. And all the dreams that she had of having a sitcom, of having a hit special, of touring and playing arenas, it all happened in the same year. She was in a movie with Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon. I mean, all of these things happened to this woman when she was 58 years old, and she's just so on fire.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it doesn't even have anything to do with being old or young. It's just doing it.
To me, that's like a giant thing like that. I think she inspired so many people that are like in their 50s. Like
100%.
You can break at, you know, in your 50s. It's crazy.
Well, guess what? Because there's a whole lot of us that are in our 50s.
Yeah. And you know what? We're the ones like with money to go to shows. Well, we're the ones that listen to podcasts, you know, like across the board.
Like, and we're also the ones who have kids that were going through the same thing that either she went through a few years ago or might go through. It's like, you know, she talks about plantar fasciitis and going to rock concerts and all the things that now in our 50s that we're all relating to. And anyway, and young people relate to her too.
I know.
It's just, I know I'm going on and on about her.
I love her.
But she's just an example of somebody who just kept dreaming and did it.
Yeah, and kept going for it. That's the thing. So many people give up on a dream. You know what I mean?
They do.
I think she's such great inspiration for somebody that has a dream that it hadn't happened yet to keep going. And that's the thing too. I love like new chapters, you know, like, and that's what I love with you. This comedy thing's a whole brand new chapter.
It is. And you know, sometimes it's hard to not let the imposter syndrome talk me out of it, because they're like, these people who are comedians, they've been doing this their whole life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now
you've
you're
been funny
but
your
see,
whole
that's
life.
the thing, is I have to remember writing songs, performing these songs, telling these stories, producing these records, running a label, all the things that put me in front of people, doing the TV show. Those were all things that are leading me to doing these stories and this comedy. It's all part of it. And I needed to do all that stuff so I'd have something to talk about.
Yeah, totally. That's the thing. I love, I'm kind of obsessed with I just love comedy.
Yeah, me too.
We go to everything. And who's your favorite, 3 comedians?
Well, I love Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
And I think he was the first person that I remember being like, I mean, it was so taboo as a kid to watch him. But I still think he is so brilliant. I mean, you watch those things. I mean, he was so young. I just watched his documentary.
I did too. I just watched it. It's so good. And he's a different kind of guy than I would have thought.
Me too.
Yeah, I didn't expect him like that.
I know. He's sort of, I don't want to say serious because he's not, but he takes it seriously.
Yeah.
It's like he really worked.
Yeah.
And talking about how young he was when Beverly Hills Cop and all that, but his rhythm, I just think he's brilliant. His energy, and he was new. He was fresh.
Yeah.
You know, I love people that do something nobody else has done.
Me too.
So
me too.
He's definitely up there. I mean, I love Nate Bargatze.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Of course. I love Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
I've always loved it, even when people say it's bad.
Have you ever been?
I have. I got to go with Kacey 2 times when she performed. I think my window for getting to be on Saturday Night Live is probably closed as far as being a cast member. But I think hopefully I could host.
Some cast members that aren't 20.
I think the issue with that is you have to be at a point in your life where you can spend 16 hours a day.
Yeah, actually, your kids, if you want to have kids and a family, that's what I've always heard is the thing, with them. When we went to Saturday Night Live, there was one moment that I laughed and nobody else, Chris got pissed, because I laughed so loud. You can straight out hear it, on TV, because nobody else laughed. Yeah. I love Bill Hader. And he's just so good.
I love Kristen Wiig. I love
they were both
Amy
there.
Poehler. I mean, Maya Rudolph. I worship these people.
Yeah.
And I think they're the smartest,
they are.
They're just so talented.
Comedians are about as smart as any profession, I think, because it's just so hard to do.
Yeah.
And the thing with what's crazy is with Bill Hader, it reminded me of something one of our kids said. That's why it was funny to me and not anybody else. Because our son Oscar, when he was 5, we were in Hawaii and he was in the pool with these 2 Japanese kids and they were speaking Japanese and he was like, "Stop talking like that."
Oh my God.
He thought they just weren't playing with him.
Stop talking like that.
So Bill Hader was like, "Stop saying
so
that."
So it made you think of.
And it triggered that and I just lost it. So were they cast members when you went?
When I went, no, it was, who was hosting one of the nights was Melissa McCarthy.
Oh, I love her.
Oh, me too. But it was a newer cast. This was in the last few years. Kate McKinnon was there, who is incredible. I can't even remember Kenan Thompson. But I've always loved Saturday Night Live since I could stay up and watch it. Back when Jan Hooks and the Sweeney Sisters. I mean, that stuff, I feel like that developed my comedy chops.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Did
sounds.
Did you meet Lauren?
No, I didn't actually really meet anyone except, I don't guess I met any of the cast. I was just in her dressing room and then hung out there kind of in the back and that changing area is right there.
Yeah.
And they have to get behind that curtain and Melissa McCarthy would run by and, it just certainly didn't feel like I could say hello as you're doing live television.
Yeah. Did you, have you seen the outtakes on I can't remember which movie it, yeah. It's This Is 40. Yes.
When she says, everybody hates you to the principal. And she's like, "I'm going to scissor kick you."
I'm going to set you on fire.
I'm going to set you on fire. I have watched, her name is Jill. I think she's saying Jill, the principal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's like, "That's why everybody fucking hates you, Jill."
Yes.
Oh, I have watched that 10,000 times. I think she
love
is just so great.
I'd love to meet her.
Yeah, I like
really
I said, I didn't
would.
meet her. I was right by her, but we never.
Did you go to the after
But
party?
I used to watch her. I did go to the after party, but I didn't hang out with anybody. I hid in the corner and tried to take weird pictures. I used to see Melissa McCarthy at the Groundlings when I lived in LA. From 2000 to 2007, I would go to the Groundlings all the time, which is where a lot of SNL cast come from. And she was one of the main members there, and she would work out a lot of those characters that ended up. She ended up doing.
We went.
But she wasn't an SNL cast member. She just is on the show a lot. Yeah.
We've gotten lucky at so many comedy shows in LA where people would be on the lineup. Like that guy Sebastian.
Yeah.
He was there. There were people that have all had hit like specials. They were just working out their stuff in this little room.
Know. If you go in those places, a lot of times that's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Fortune Feimster recently, and Judd Apatow came out.
I love him.
Me too.
Love to interview him.
I'm reading his book right now.
He's doing a movie about country people. Do you know he's doing a movie about a country singer right now?
No, I did not.
I've been thinking, I would love to I would love to talk to him about this.
Yeah.
Like, I love Leslie Mann. She's one of the funniest, underrated people, I think.
I love her.
I love her too.
I think she's just awesome.
Man, maybe we can go to dinner with
Yeah.
if they're in Nashville trying to research, like that movie looks like it's going to be really funny. It's got that guy in it that's in everything now. He had a show like about football.
Oh, Ted Lasso guy?
Yeah.
Sudeikis?
No, not Sudeikis. Oh, what's this guy's name? He's a real cute guy and he's a heartthrob and he had this show.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about the Top Gun guy.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I can't think of his name. I know what you're talking about.
I love Judd. Have you seen his master class?
No.
It's
I
amazing.
need to watch that. I watched Amy Poehler's.
Amazing.
I need to watch that.
Yeah, it's really good and he did a stand-up act. Did you see it?
He did stand up. I saw him one night with Fortune Feimster. He walked out and did stand up.
So he got up and did stand up that night?
Yes.
When was that?
6 months ago.
Where at?
At Largo.
I'm going to be hanging out there.
Yeah, and right there, Largo right there in Beverly Hills or by the Beverly Center.
Oh, I would just love to see. Well, I just respect him so much too because he's such a great writer across the board.
Yeah, and he helps other people. That's what I love.
Yeah.
He is always, Lena Dunham wrote the foreword in his book, and hearing her talk about how he champions young writers, comedians, filmmakers, it's like that is the ultimate.
Yeah.
You have that and you get to give it away.
He's done so many shows with people like her that you wouldn't even know he was a part of.
I know.
And he just championed all of them. There's a show called Love that he did like with this skinny guy. Like it's on Netflix. It's really funny.
He has a lot of shows.
Yeah, he does. Man, I'm gonna put it in the universe that you and me go to dinner with those two.
Oh my God,
how amazing would that be? To just talk about writing, because that he's got to be curious about, if you're making a movie about something like country music, you want it to be authentic.
Yeah.
Because people get it so wrong.
I know.
They get it so wrong.
Who he's been talking to.
Me too.
Figure this out.
Hopefully we'll be talking to him.
I hope so.
That would be amazing. I love him. How in the world did you end up doing a musical?
Well, I didn't grow up thinking that was going to happen. I did not even know. I had no idea that a lot of the songs I loved growing up came from musicals. I didn't know that.
Well, when's the first musical you went to?
Book of Mormon
in
2008.
God, I want to see that show.
It was incredible. And so that was the first Broadway show I'd ever seen. And I was with my husband, who knew a lot more about theater than I did. I did theater growing up, but we didn't have musicals. We just did plays. Anyway, when Book of Mormon was over, and I had just started, like literally, I think I'd gotten that LeAnn Womack cut. Things were just starting to happen. Some seeds were starting to, happen and grow. And when Book of Mormon was over, it's a hilarious show, but I had tears in my eyes because I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I could not believe what it must have taken. And I was like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
And of course, when you didn't even know the world, there's this naivety, almost like the comedy thing.
Yeah.
Where it's actually an asset.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know how hard it was. I didn't know how small the number of shows that
Get made.
compared to what they're working
Yeah.
on. So 2 years later, and by the way, in the in-between, I'd seen a bunch of shows. We went back and I would,
What was your
we
favorite?
saw Book of Mormon is still my favorite. It's the most brilliant. It's so funny.
Yeah.
But also there's like a lot of political statements in it. And it's just so smart.
Yeah.
I also love a show called Avenue Q that a lot of people don't know.
Okay.
That was
I'm going to have to see. Is
off
it on right
Broadway.
now?
I think it is off Broadway. It's incredible. It's done with like Sesame Street puppets, but it's grown-up themes.
Oh my gosh. That sounds amazing.
And the songs are hilarious. And it's like, one of the songs was Everybody's a Little Bit Gay. And
I love
just all
it.
these different like hilarious, or If You Were Gay. I don't remember exactly.
That's making me want to go to
the
New York
internet's for
right now to go
porn.
see it. The internet what?
It's for porn. And it's like a Sesame Street character singing it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I love that. I loved that show too. But a couple years later, Brandy Clark and I had worked together a lot on a record she was making called 12 Stories that, had a lot of similar small town themes. And Gaylord was sort of floating the idea of a Hee Haw musical, and because they owned the rights to Hee Haw, the old TV show, the vaudeville show. And they hired a writer named Robert Horn who had a lot of television credits. And he, like what we were talking about before, where he wanted it to be authentic. So he came to Nashville. He wanted to meet with country writers. And someone played him Brandy Clark's record. And he said, this is how the music should sound. And so he met with us. And it was such a far off, far-fetched. It was like, we're going to write a musical about Hee Haw, or based on Hee Haw, but it's going to be a story.
Yeah.
And we want songs that sound like that. I mean, we did paint by number. Basically, on a whiteboard, he wrote, okay, you need an opening number, and then you need an I Want song so that the lead character, what they're after. And then you have to have a song for the villain. And then you have to have a love song and the love triangle song. I mean, it was literally like, this is what happens in musicals. Now, through the years, it changed.
Yeah.
But the beginning was what I call paint by numbers, because it was like, then you need what they call an 11 o'clock number, which is a big number before the finale.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the payoff. And, so we sort of started filling in those songs on the whiteboard.
How many songs are in it?
I think there's 12, but we wrote 40.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
40
Yeah.
songs
Yeah.
for a music. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense because they were so good.
And yeah, through the years, whittled. I mean, what they told us when we first signed up to do this was most musicals take about a decade to get all the way to Broadway.
What'd you think when you heard that?
No way.
Yeah.
We're different.
It won't take me a decade.
We know
Yeah.
how to do this. We're already writing the kind of songs you want. 5 years in, we were in Dallas. We had an out-of-town run in Dallas that I thought was Broadway bound.
Yeah.
And it was called Moonshine then. It had changed names and the stories had changed, and it just didn't work. And people loved it in Dallas, but nobody in New York came calling. Like all the people from Broadway came down to see it, and they were like, this is a great show for Texas.
Yeah.
This is not Broadway material. So basically the producers were sort of like, we're kind of at an impasse here. We spent all this money, and the writers were like, oh, like, I don't know what's going to happen beyond this. It kind of just fell apart, and the producers went away, and we didn't have any money to, we all started working on different projects. And actually through my husband, having a friend in New York whose husband was a Broadway producer, he had heard about our show, and he asked his wife to ask my husband to ask me if he could read the script of what we had.
Did y'all write the script?
Robert Horn wrote what they call the book, which is the script. I mean, he is a genius, so I'm not taking any credit away from him. But we work all three of us work together.
Yeah.
He helped us with a lot of the songs, vice versa. But ultimately, this producer named Mike Bosner, a young guy who had only produced a couple of things, was like, I think you have something here if you guys would be willing to really rework it. I think the theme is great. I think country music is needed on Broadway. And then it was 6 years after that before we were on Broadway.
Wow.
So we had 2 other out-of-town runs.
It was so amazing.
So it was 11 years when we hit Broadway. And now this week, they had their 500th show on tour.
Oh,
So the
my
American tour
gosh.
just played 500 shows.
That's amazing. It's like the gift that keeps
It
on
does.
giving
And
with a musical.
it's true. I mean, it took all that time,
Yeah.
but now we're making a movie.
Yeah. Oh, you're
And
making a movie. Talk
yeah.
about that. I need to know about that.
Yeah, we're really early in the process, but the Mandalay who does a lot of huge movies, and they bought the rights, and now we're reworking
Have they casted
it.
yet?
No, but the script is in the process of being close. Like it's a new version, But yeah, that is really exciting, and we're going to be writing some new music for
so
it.
great.
So it is like the gift that keeps giving, because all these
really
other
is.
things happen from it.
That and then everybody will be singing it like these musicals, because I guess so many more people, but if they're touring, then a lot of people can go that way. But so many more people get to see it when it's a movie,
I know.
because a lot of people don't get to go to New York.
I almost hesitate to talk about it as a movie because movies take so long. And of course, I mentioned the movie to my mom, and 2 years later, she's like, "Is this really happening?" And I'm like, I mean, as far as I know, it can take another 10 years. But really, I've tried to stop shrinking myself. I think you will relate to this. Like when someone says, there's a movie, I want to shrink and go, well, we don't know. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? You know what? As far as I'm concerned, it's going to be a movie.
Yeah, let's just put that out
That
there.
you have to own it and just go, look, we're working on it being a movie. I don't know when it's going to happen or how it's going to happen, and right now it's about the journey of and the creation of. So until
the people that I know that have been the very most successful, like Taylor, just people that they just believed.
They just do it.
They just believed it was happening.
It's acting
you know what
as
I mean?
if.
Yeah, and I love one of my favorite quotes is what you believe determines what you'll make true.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if you walk in a writing room and somebody's just you can't even have a hit in Nashville anymore. You know what I mean?
You certainly can't.
It's I'm ready to go right now.
100%.
And so I believe it'll be it's going to be a movie.
Yeah.
It's going to be a movie. If you can get a musical, you can get a movie.
I mean, that's way more far-fetched is that it got all the way to Broadway. It's insane.
That is insane.
You have to think there's 25 Broadway houses. Half of them are full of shows that never leave. Yeah, Wicked,
or Phantom of
exactly.
Opera.
So you have very few options to get on Broadway, when you're really talking about Broadway theater houses. And we got all the way there, you know what I mean? And we got nominated for 9 Tonys, and it won a Tony, and we played for a year before we went out on our American tour. It is a wildest dream I didn't even dream for myself,
Yeah. What's your favorite song in it?
Well, the opening number is called Corn.
Yeah, I love that opening number.
It's the kind of song that, those songs in your life that you write that when you listen back, you think, I couldn't have written that.
Yeah,
it had to have been coming through me because I don't even know those words.
Yeah, I don't know how I did that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how Corn feels to me. And I think Brandy would agree. It's just this massive... It's like a history lesson, and it's like jokes, and it's and we listen to it and go, when did we write this?
Yeah.
How did this happen?
How did you get the title?
Oh, for the song Corn?
Or
the
Shucked.
musical. We spent months after the story was done, and we knew that it was about corn, because the show originally wasn't about corn. It changed through the years. When it became about the corn dying, I bet we had 1,000 names. And Shucked was just, it kind of sounded like a dirty word, and it just kind of had a bite to it.
It just seems perfect.
Yeah, it took a very long time.
I think it really means a lot. I always feel like if somebody can get a good title for something, then it's going to be good.
Well, we were able to use it so many times in the show as we're shucked.
Yeah.
Somebody's getting shucked.
Yeah, it was, man, that show was so funny. And then, what was that number? The one that everybody talks about, the one with the, because Brandy made me laugh so hard that night. The one, I'm not going to say the title.
Is it in the show?
Yeah. It's the one that the big singer.
Independently owned.
Yes.
And operated. Yeah, the one, she won the Tony.
She did. That makes sense. She should have, because it was amazing. Yeah. But Brandy, oh my gosh.
I will say this, that opening night when Alex Newell came out and sang that song and got a full standing ovation.
Yeah.
I did tell Brandy in that moment, I looked at her and I said, I don't know if I could ever feel higher than this moment.
Yeah.
And I've done all the drugs. I felt like I was off the floor. You know, I felt like I was floating.
I think that's the best moment I've ever seen in a musical ever.
It was unbelievable.
And there's a reason there was a Tony, you know, like for
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. That moment.
Because that song, like Chris and me both were just like, holy shit. I mean, it
and the
was
arrangement,
so good.
the music director knew Alex's range from top to bottom and arranged our little country song that we actually patterned after. Here you come again.
Oh my
That's where we
gosh.
started. And our arranger knew, Jason Howland, he knew Alex's voice and was able to go from the bottom of their voice to the top of their voice. And when we heard that arrangement, I just was like, there's no way I wrote that song. How did this happen? But they put my name under it.
Unbelievable. It's
Thank you.
so good. Everybody needs to see Shucked. I mean, because
it's so fun.
It's so good. Like that. I'm trying to think of like a musical I loved as much as that. I spent the whole time at Hamilton upset that the guy that did it wasn't there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I just like,
that,
I want, because I was used to him singing those songs.
I know. Hamilton is so brilliant. I mean, it's just brilliant.
Yeah. And
changed the whole game.
Yeah, it did.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you could do a musical about that.
I know. It really opened it up to what everybody is, knows is possible.
Yeah, it's true. Thank you for being here.
I
just love you so much. You're one of my favorite people. Oh, I got one last question.
Yeah.
Are you good at delegating?
No.
You're not?
I think I've gotten better, but I definitely, what I am good at is letting people do their job.
Yeah.
Meaning, I think that like in a writing room, if somebody's great at something, I defer to them.
Yeah.
But as far as delegating, I guess I am. I just think it's taken me a long time to let things go.
Yeah.
To be like, I don't have to be the one to do the demo. I don't have to be the one. That's new for me.
Yeah.
To be like, look, if there's going to be a demo of this song, y'all are going to have to do it.
Yeah.
Because I used to have to be the one.
Yeah.
And it would wear me out, but I still wanted to do it because I thought I was the only one that could like do it the way I wanted.
Yeah.
And I don't do that anymore. So I guess I've gotten better at it.
What about in business and life outside of like music stuff?
In general, like, I think I am probably.
Because I was just
That's probably how I've been able to do so much is having to let other people do it.
Exactly. Well, y'all had a travel agent and I'm like, we are just doing this wrong.
Oh,
because I was just messing stuff up left and right.
Yes, we had to, let somebody else just. And look, we got some of it wasn't right and some of it was.
But y'all did such cool stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, like that's something you'll be thankful you did forever.
I know.
It's worth more than anything, really.
I agree.
Like, and then y'all got this new baby that he's so cute. And I love the name Tex.
Thank you.
I love the name Tex.
We're so obsessed with that child.
Yeah.
He's definitely runs the risk of being very spoiled.
Oh, I bet. Because he's got like the siblings like are going to just like, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And your sister, 9 years, there's a spread. Like ours have a spread too. Like we've got Truman who is like 10 years older than Lola.
Oh, yeah.
And they're the most alike and they just go talk about how screwed up we are. Like they go to lunch.
That's sort of like how our sister, my sister and I was about our family.
Parents, yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of like we bonded over the craziness of our family. And so maybe that's what Tex will bond with his brother and sister over. But when they go to college, he goes to kindergarten. And I'll go and I'll have to go to the hospital and lay down.
But kids keep you young. You know what I mean? Kids keep you young.
I always say they keep you young and they make you old. It's two things.
Yeah, but like you'll be healed. You know what I mean? You'll know everything going on.
True,
because that's how I feel with our kids. Like I know stuff people would never
especially
believe
music.
I know. Yeah, especially music.
Yeah.
Well, you're the best.
You're the best.
Thank you for being here and thank you. I just am so happy you were on here.
Me too.
You guys rock. Thank you for watching.